Nick Eubanks is the CEO of I'm From the Future and a partner over at Traffic Think Tank. I talked to him recently because he's been on a buying spree. He runs a digital agency and he's been acquiring these small agencies for very low prices and rolling them into his company. And I wanted to dig deep to find out exactly what he's looking for in these companies and how he goes about acquiring them, what his business strategy is, and all of that. So here are the highlights from that conversation. By the way, a little bit more about Nick. He's worked on over 1,000 websites, has driven 50 billion impressions, and over $10 billion in revenue. First, we talked about how do you implement a process that you didn't create?
That was one of the biggest professional mistakes I've ever made, was thinking that I could somehow manage all of these clients, all of these people, all of these processes all at the same time. And for 2 or 3 months, we were just trying to figure out what was going to make the most sense. And Ryan brought all these processes that had to be adapted for a significantly bigger team. Suddenly, Ryan went from, a team of 8 to now being a team of 34. The same processes don't work. The same checks and balances don't work. The systems that he built and designed had to be augmented to fit this new team. Allocation of responsibilities just changed overnight.
The next thing I wanted to know was, what is Nick's process when acquiring agencies?
I ended up meeting Jeff at one of his dinners, and we just sort of hit it off. And we stayed in contact and, always looked for ways to do things together. But my agency, which is sort of a side project at the time, we were so focused on technical SEO and user experience design, and there's never a need for social media. I sort of subscribe to that school of thought that Ben Franklin describes as, hire the smartest people and figure out what they'll do for you later. Our clients were asking enough about, amplification and how to drive more traffic from the content we were creating, not just through search, but through social. So it made sense to have that conversation with Jeff. And then, we wanted to expand our capabilities, our service offerings, to not just be technical SEO and designing solution paths that very much involved how do we make this page not look like crap, but also be very friendly from a robot perspective.
This is huge because when buying an agency, you're either buying them for their intellectual property, meaning their design process or development process, something like that, or you're buying them for their talent, which is the people that they have, or their revenue, which at this level with these small acquisitions is most likely not why he's buying these agencies. And the final thing would be a portfolio item. Maybe they've worked with a client that would be huge to have on your website somewhere. You want their logos. But when you're buying a bunch of agencies, all of those processes can be extremely hard to put together. We had to deal with this recently at Experiment 27 when we were merging our LinkedIn strategy and our cold email strategy. So even internally, it's something that agencies deal with. Then I wanted to dig more in depth on how did Nick merge the agencies that he bought?
We didn't have an account manager and we didn't have a project manager. And boy, was that stupid. First hire was we brought in a PM who was from Aramark, and she was just overwhelmed. She was just extreme, hey, here you go, here's 80 clients, figure it out, this is your job now. She couldn't be responsible for internal project management and external project management. We promoted somebody from Jeff's team to be our account manager. And now, even so, they're both crazy busy. They're wildly capable of their jobs, and their personalities just lend really well to it. I don't know how we ran this business to date without this.
And we got to the meat of it. I asked what the price is to acquire a small agency.
Right now, digital agencies with no IP, so no internal tech, are trading around between 3 and 5 times EBITDA.
This is the most surprising thing. Over and over again, the more I dig into this business acquisition thing, the more doable it becomes price-wise. I used to think that buying a business would be millions of dollars or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the more of these guys I talk to, Ryan Culp is another good example. We did a video with him a few months ago. It's simple. If you have a few $1,000s, you can buy businesses and gain a lot of leverage that way. If you want to hear the full podcast, that's down in the description below. If you want to check out Nick's stuff, I'll link to that as well. And if you want the exact client questions, so what we actually ask on call number 1 to qualify our clients at Experiment 27, that is also down in the description. If you liked this video, I'd love if you would think of one person you think would get value from it and send them a link. Also, if you want more large clients for your agency, check out experiment27.com. I'm Alex Berman. Thanks for watching.